Okay. See, we we will be looking at see personality as different facets. That is why many a time psychology is known as an inexact science. For example, if you look at from the guna theory, sattva raja guna. If you look at from the Ayurveda, they have their vata pitta kapha. If you look at from the homeo medicine, they have their own ways of interpreting it. So for our purpose, we are limiting the study because otherwise the study of personality is as deep, as intensive than anything else. Predictability is very less in spite of all the theories which has come. People, suddenly you find people who we feel all the time uh, with all the values suddenly slipping off. Okay, so let us understand the Latin word persona, the mask worn by actors while playing their role in the drama. So, personality P, perception, capacity. So that itself is a see perception differs from person to person. Correct. Objectivity in perception is very difficult. You know, Divya, you have worked in a corporate, Parula also has worked in corporate. So we always say, for example, the subject called organization behavior talks about that only. The halo and the on effect. Suppose if we like somebody, all our questions will be favorable, especially if somebody is from our college, and suddenly we feel that yes, there is a halo. And if on the other hand, then what happens is that there is a lot of biases come. Somebody is from our college, somebody is from our institute, somebody is from our hometown. All of it creates on the other side the on effect. Suppose you meet somebody for a moment, you're meeting for the first time, and the person suddenly talks loudly on the phone. Immediately you will feel that this person something is wrong. So then immediately you will start feeling the horn effect that this person is bad. Or if that phone, for example, if it is in a formal setting, suddenly the phone rings. So immediate perception is that this person is not organized. So perception itself is a separate chapter. You can see same thing in a different manner. Emotional maturity, very important. Too much of emotion if you have, you will hurt yourself. Too less of it, you will hurt others. So it has to be very balanced. Responsiveness to the situation. Opposite of responses, react. Responsiveness. See, for example, when we say somebody is responsible, we say the person's ability to respond. That means a person who is very mature. Sociability, very important in today's context. They say social quotient, very important. Originality. If you look at in a Bollywood or anything, whoever has come trying to emulate others have never succeeded. Take the case of singing. Whoever has tried to sing in a particular manner has not survived. Beyond a level, one has to create one's originality. Neutrality, very essence, very essence. In neutrality, lot of presence of mind is required. If presence of mind is too much, then you don't trust anybody. If it is too little, people can take advantage. Appearance, external. We have always heard beauty is skin deep. Okay. You look at two personalities, Aishwarya Rai and Sushmita Sen. The moment you see about Aishwarya Rai, even though she is very pretty, very beautiful, you feel that she is very snobbish. If you look at Sushmita Sen, you will find full of that warmth. So leadership feeling. Leadership feeling that in this kind of context, taking charge of situation. It's nothing but initiative. I remember there was a program in Marriott. So when I came at 8 o'clock, the program was supposed to start at 8:30. The organizers came at around 8:15, and by the time people had already come. So what happened? I also joined them. I helped them to put the standee. I helped them to put the table, everything. And I didn't know there was a person who was sitting in the corner and working on his laptop. So when the program started, he said, I want to tell you something. This morning when I came, I found somebody. I thought he's a part of the organizing team. Now he's here as a participant. He said he did not sit and complain. These organizers came late. He said he wants to make things happen. And I saw him helping them to put the standee, helping them to put the table, give them pen, ask them sit on the table and start writing. He said, see, nothing. Leadership is nothing but initiatives. Integrated. See, everything has to be integrated. Here, integrated has to be looked at from a very, very humanistic perspective. See, for example, anything which you do, there is the material kingdom. Beyond that, it is a vegetation. Beyond that is the animal kingdom. Beyond that, it is your human kingdom. So anything which you do has to be, for example, if tomorrow you are a part of a project, you cannot do something which is disturbing the ecology. It will not sustain. T, tendency. Now, tendency is what? Tendency for taking decisions before thinking. Now, for example, all of the yoga, if you really start practicing yoga, what helps you? You will be able to think and do rather than do and think. Young. Now, young in terms of what? Dynamic nature, flexibility, adaptability, adaptability. There are certain things, for example, there are certain things which we have to change. The status quo will not help us. If we go by the status quo, then people will think we are very rigid. They say, no, well begun is half done. There are occasions where it is not possible. So what do? You have to help people halfway through to pick up. For example, if you see the local, if you see the long distance train, no, most of the time they make the running time. Okay, so that trains are not much delayed. So young means actually flexibility, adaptability. Yes, next, sir. Personality is the dynamic organization within the individual of those psychophysical symptoms that determine his unique adjustment to his environment. There are many examples. Okay. Now, why this is psychophysical? There are, what you think and what you say that people should feel. There are people who will feel that, see, what he intended is different. So they will always judge you. Okay. They will always judge you whether you are thinking, you are really meaning something. You can quickly make out such people. They don't, what they say and what they are intending is totally different. Next, sir. Temperament. Very important. We always know that we know through what? Bad temper or good temper. Good temper, we never say. We always say this person is very temperamental. It is a set of inborn personality characteristics that influence an individual's manner of reacting to an environment, or personality characteristics that define an individual's mood and behavior tendencies. So, while practicing yoga, when you talk about personality, you're not going to react to environment. You're going to respond to environment. Next. So the physical aspects are there. The chemical aspects are there, environment is there, learning is there. So that is why they say any personality is not the result of nature but also nurture, because not everybody is born with the good setup, good upbringing, good family. There are wait, sir. No, there's a true true incident which I'll tell you. I do not know whether I've discussed earlier. There was a prisoner in New York downtown, and the press reporter went to interview. I do not know whether I've spoken to you. The press reporter went to interview and found out he's such a, he's going to be given long-term punishment. So he went and saw, what is this? Is it because of the downtown? The black Americans, they are staying in this place. That socio-economic factors are leading to such crime. So he said, no. He said, I have been educated, and all what has happened to me is because of my father. He said, what happened? My father used to come fully drunk. He used to beat my mother. Neighbors don't come. Neighbors stop talking to us. And as children, we generally go and sleep in the neighbor's house. So this person studied everything. But after a few days, somebody told him he has a twin brother who is a investment banker in Manhattan. So he went he took interview time. He asked, how come you have become like this? He said, my father. He said, what? I do not want my wife or my children to go through what we have gone through. So the same situation, they went to the same school. They were having the same syllabus. They had the same textbooks. They had the same teachers. But how one took life different. So there is a lot of things which can change, because everybody, and look at, there are people who are born with a good family, very good family, and they do all kind of bad things. You find, no, this people who are into cyber privacy and all those things. You find engineers, forget everything. In 2008, 17, 18, IIT, the plagiarism went up to 54%. So I always tell that where whatever you take, just give a reference, just give acknowledgement. Asteya. Next, learning. Yeah, learning. What the definition of learning? Never stop learning, because life never stop teaching you. So what are the factors influencing personality? Biological factors. Okay, to a certain extent, which one can overcome. It's like saying, no, hereditary is one factor for longevity, but not all people who are born with a good hereditary survives. Second thing is lifestyle. Third thing is exercise, food. All these things contribute. So biological factors, to one level, it helps. Sociological factors, again, the socio-economic factors. You have found out so many people, Abraham Lincoln, uh, our Indian President K.R. Narayan, all of them came from a very humble background. The sociological factors were not favoring them. They used to sit outside in the street light and study. Psychological factors. So psychological factors are intelligence, motivation, emotion, attitude, interest, sentiment. We have to believe that these are things which are in our hand. Otherwise, how we can develop from an animal instinct to a human instinct? Next, you all will be knowing this personality. Extrovert, one who enjoys spending time with others. Ambivert enjoys others but needs alone time. Introverts enjoys spending time alone. Now what happens? It's it all got to do with the function. Okay. For example, a scientist who is doing a research for R&D, he has to be an introvert because he has to spend more time. He has to work independently, likes to process internally. Suppose certain functions like marketing, person has to be continuously with others, human resource, an ambivert. There are people who actually, most of us may be ambivert because we generally look at people. If somebody is very, they say no, very smart and too smart. If somebody is too smart, then we generally become ambivert. So based on the situation, that is known as flexing in psychology, which is important. Otherwise, you will regret yourself. I should not have said. I should not have been so friendly. Next. This I think we have covered in that our psychology. Sir, next. This also we have taken. Yeah. I think this also is covered. Go ahead. This you all will know better. This is our Menon sir's topic. We should ask Menon sir to add something. Sir,
Where you studied this five state of Chitta, Divya?
Saying that this is the similar topic which me and Parul did, na? And Parul presented the stages of mind. Yeah.
Chitta Prasadam.
Yes, Chitta Prasada.
Chitta Bhumi.
Chitta Bhumis, yeah. States.
Psychology from infant to adult.
So you were not audible.
Oh, me.
No. Menon sir said something which I could not follow.
Now I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Proceed.
Yeah, this is more of a representation. Now here, very important is as a toddler, the first three stages are dependent stage. The next two stages are independent stage. In that independent stage, no, what is important is that beyond that, the person who's erect, standing with the wallet and walking, that is the most critical stage. Okay, for anybody. Success in life comes from there because from there, independence has to move into interdependence. This is all you. First one is you, second one is you, third one is you, fourth one is I, fifth one is I. The moment the fifth lady comes, from there onwards, it has to be interdependent. That is we. Then people will be always there with you. Next is, yeah. I think it is the same. You can skip. Yeah, this also we have seen the picture for. Biological factors. 1 minute, 1 minute. Cultural factors we have not taken. Cultural factors are many. Okay. Very important for us to understand the cultural factors, especially when you are teaching yoga. Okay. Because I remember people getting into a lot of problems in yoga with Niketan. Okay. For example, when you say prayer, earlier that never used to happen. Today, because of whatever the government is talking and doing, I have no politics, but I'm telling you, people are polarized. Earlier days, when you bring prasad from the mandir, everybody comes. Divya will know, Ayyappa Mandir prasad is very sweet. So people generally come. Today times have changed. Okay, so cultural factors. So what happens most of the time now in certain places, even in the Western world, what they say, you can tell your own prayers. You can close your eyes. Okay. Even though our institute prayer is Sahana Vavadu Sahana Bhunatu, but it is up to you. Very important. So the moment you understand cultural factors, no, typical example was Mahatma Gandhi. There was a Westerner who had come, very learned person in Sabarmati Ashram. For 1 month, what Gandhiji said, Western people, their deodorant, jejunum and cologne is different. He said, for them, unless they eat red meat, no, it becomes difficult for them to survive in the weather. For 1 month, Gandhiji ensured that this person gets meat in Sabarmati Ashram. So how he looked at it, he is vegetarian. He talks everywhere about Ram Raj. He talks about Bhagavad Gita, Karma Yoga. But that flexibility is very important. Otherwise, what happens is that we become very, very rigid. Okay, situational factors, very, very important. Same situation may not be identical. Situation may be the same, but the ramification or these consequences may be different. Same situation. Two different people were there in that situation. Now you have two different people in the situation. So, very, very carefully you have to handle the situation. And all of it actually helps. See, for example, there is a saying which I tell whenever two friends are having an issue, don't get into it because you will lose both. When two strangers are there, even if you do arbitration, at least one will understand. Okay, next. Biological factors got to do with lot of things with your neurotransmitters and everything. But see, what happens is that this neuroplasticity and all today, what they're talking about, how practices can change. Okay, how practices can change the basic structure of your brain, which is actually a separate topic altogether. Our Dr. Nilima has said many things. Next.
Is this too much? Huh? Good, no?
Yeah. Physical factors.
So can you give an example of this physical factors?
It can cut both the ways. There are people who have height and build, but their IQ may not be good. For example, if you look at Napoleon, Napoleon was less than 5 feet. Hitler, he compensated his height. Napoleon knew, I think, all 50,000 soldiers. He knew everybody's name and he knew the family members. So people were ready to die for him. So Hitler is a classic example. The power of his speech actually changed. So generally what happens is that it again suits a role. For example, if it is a policeman or a security or a bouncer, this height will help because that function is based on perception. The other one functions are based on what you talk. What you talk, not how you talk. So nothing like that. Okay, because this again, there are certain things which we can change, certain things which we cannot change. I never think that I have to put on weight because I will not put on weight. Because if you see my parents, my brothers, and my sisters, everybody is on the leaner side. Okay. So as a result, what happened? Blood pressure is always stable. So I have to compensate by my knowledge, how I treat people. So which actually, just remind me, we will do that defense mechanism, all the 5 mechanisms. Substitution, progression. Just write, I'll send you all separately. Next. So Menon sir is a classic example. Okay, in spite of his stature, he has produced more papers than any Yoga Vidyaniketan teachers. They would have been there 35 years. He is 2007-8 batch, 8-9 batch.
Month before that, you also. Month before that also.
That is your Chinmay and all those things.
Yeah,
But I'm talking in comparison with. So he is a person who's typically hereditary factor.
Next.
Hereditary factor plays a very important role as a major determinant and factors of personality. Hereditary factors are the ones that are determined at the time of conception. These factors not only affect the physical features of a person, but the intelligence level, attentiveness, gender, temperament, various inherited diseases and energy levels all get affected by them. But what happens today when you're talking about psychoneuroimmunology and all, they say a lot of things can change. I'll tell you, my brother-in-law, father amputated his leg, mother died of diabetes, 2 sisters, both are on insulin, and he does not, morning he runs 10 kilometers, afternoon he goes for swimming, evening he does cycling. He has actually changed the lifestyle. So he is having no problem. And is very careful about eating also. The example of how hereditary factors determine such a huge and significant part of an individual personality can easily be determined in children. Many children behave exactly how their parents do. Similarly, twin siblings also have a. See, if you look at Abhishek Bachchan, many a time you see his mannerisms. Mannerisms are like Amitabh. He is not emulating because he is very clear that if I copy, my father is already there. If I copy, I'll become noble. But when you see him walk, when you see him from the side, you will feel that those are mannerisms which are carried. Next. Social factors play a vital role in determining one's personality. The things that revolve and evolve around us on a regular basis determine our personality. The society that we live in, the cultural environment that we face daily, the community we get interacted to all included in this factor. Relationship, coordination, cooperation, interaction, environment in the family, organization, workplace. So in the social factors, also one can change. They say, no, your mahal has to be different. There's a saying, tell me, if you want to know about your son, tell me who his friends are, and I can tell how your son will be. So this also can change. That is why many people leave organizations. And remember, Marcus Buckingham has written a book. They say people leave people. People don't leave organizations. People leave their bosses. They don't have anything to do with the organizations. They leave people. Sometimes it is good. But like last time what we saw about the marriage, no? That adjustment, bow and arrow, that is also important. Otherwise, easily we give up. Giving up is easy. Yeah, next. Cultural factors, very important, especially in a place like India. It's easy to learn. Because what happens is that one of the reasons these festivals are there is for us to accept other culture. Even though festivals are associated with our West, but today what happens in especially in large cities, we have adapted so much. Every community, yeah? Every community. Because I remember in our office, we are like a United States of India. Everything from January 15th onwards, January 15th, Holi, Valentine Day, we convert it into something different. Universal love, Friendship Day, then Eid. Eid, you will not believe, Ramzan, the Muslim community come together. 260 people are there. So very organized. They, I have given 2 rooms for namaz. No separate time. Other companies ask me, how come you manage 262 people? I said, the place where I am operating is in Andheri, Yogeshwari. If I take a circle and I draw 10 kilometers, it is all with places like Sakinaka, Marol. So I don't have any perception. So I have put beautiful systems. I have put a room saying that your lunch break is half an hour. You can do 20 minutes namaz or 10 minutes lunch, or 10 minutes namaz and 20 minutes lunch. Up to you. Beautiful place, 3, 4 places. And every year for Ramzan, what they do, we have around 76 supervisors. They have kept 3 counters. One is only Gujarati Jain food. Other one is vegetarian food and non-vegetarian food. With their own money. Iftar party is conducted like that. So what happens is that it's more of, we don't have any biases. Our person is in Sushupti. Who? Menon sir,
Sorry, huh?
I said you are in Jagrata Avastha.
Ah,
Okay.
do yoga.
Yeah, I think it's 8 o'clock, no?
We'll come,
8:30. Yeah, today time is 8:30. Carry on. Bring it on. Bring it on.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
we'll complete it.
I will. Bring it on. Bring one slide down, sir. Down. And upper. Sorry. Yeah. Personality development through yoga. Very important, huh? Divya and Parul. You all can work extensively in this. Okay. And go and give sessions in schools. Next. See, most important thing is improving awareness. How? All these things look esoteric. Esoteric means high principles, unless you know how to do it. So, improving awareness, you may have to have some practices. Improving self knowledge, unfortunately, Swadhyaya self study doesn't happen. You may have to feed certain things. Finding greater self direction. That is actually asking yourself what is your purpose in life, which is more of a probing. Okay, you should ask. Whenever I start my class, no, I follow one Stephen Covey's one habit. Begin with the end in mind. I ask students, what do you want to be? Then they tell, because I have the opportunity to meet Stephen Covey. So you have to be and I think we can work together on this. I can help you finding greater self direction. What is your purpose? What with what objective you have come to this life? Building self confidence. How? Very simple. What I tell yesterday, I'm telling the same thing. When you respect others, when you have patience with others, it is respect. People will show patience with you. When you have respect for the family, family will support you. When you are patient with your own self, and always remember, never talk about your strength. Always talk about your areas for improvement, not even weakness. When you talk about your areas of improvement, no, people will talk about your strength. When you talk about your strength, no, people will talk about your weaknesses. Enhancing lifestyle or the quality of life. How? Most important thing, have a routine. Number two, the other way of doing is we can tell decide what you want to become in life. Decide. Okay. After decide, develop. After that, in order to develop, you need discipline because otherwise development will look like a plan in place. Once the discipline is there, then you need to have devotion into that. So if you put all the 4 Ds, you can help somebody uh, decide what he or she wants, becoming happier and making others also happier. How? If you start seeking happiness outside, then you all have seen my presentation, no? Harvard ka. Very simple things. Money cannot buy happiness. Money can buy comforts. What can buy happiness? Number one is health. Number two is connection. There are people who are very, very rich who do not know. I'll tell you an example, very real life example. My friend works in Tata Memorial in Parel. Okay, very close friend, last 24 years. He tells me people who come for chemotherapy or radiation, the people from the chawl, the socioeconomic, less socioeconomic background, live longer. Because when they come, at least 3 to 4 neighbors will be there. 3 to 4 boys will be there accompanying them to bring water, bring glucose. They don't have to worry about the children coming back from school. The neighbors will be there to give them food. Versus people who are staying in Peda Road, Valkeshwar, Parul will be knowing Bombay, no? These are all up, very, very,
Yeah.
yeah, I know
My
you have some
family
Bombay.
hails from Mumbai. No, we
I,
hail from Mumbai. After I was
I
born, this
yeah,
studio.
I remember that. So most of the time, the
That
children are in US.
I am born and brought up in Girgaon. I am born and brought up in Girgaon.
गिरगांव का राजा है.
हाँ.
You type on the Google, no, गिरगांव का राजा. You will find.
I can speak Marathi much better than, and Hemjith knows Marathi presentation also I do.
Yeah.
Now I got it this month at Durga Parmeshwari. Marathi presentation on Yoga Tattva Upanishad.
Yeah. So then what happens is that people who come with that kind of background, hardly, you know what, husband will also be aged. The driver comes along with them for the chemo. And generally they don't survive long. So he's actually, done a lot of studies. He does something on post chemo learning disabilities. Yeah. Controlling anger. Is anger good or bad? Unmute and tell me.
It's required in situations, but not internal anger. It's just to like, I mean, my nephews or sometime, just to show them like, they've done something wrong.
Wonderful.
But internally,
Like my
I wouldn't.
like my
Divya.
husband says, you should show anger, but you should not become angry.
Yeah,
I'm
very true.
still working on it, but this is what my husband says.
No, very true. Nicely said. Listen, Mahatma Gandhi was asked this question. He said yes. He said, when I had a first class ticket and I was traveling, then they asked me to come out of the first class. I was angry, but not rageous. I did not take stone and throw on the door. I directed my anger for India's independence. He said that was an incident which brought India independence. He said, I was not rageous. There are people like both of you said, you when you want to get angry, you have to get angry, but you cannot punish or beat. And then that anger later you will regret. Shouting, physically doing anything, all of it. Anger is a positive thing. Rage is not. Spiritual development. Already both of you are self-realized. What is spiritual development? It has got to do a lot of things with the acceptance. Okay. It is a separate topic altogether. See, and they say much more. you look at Bhagavad Gita on conflict management, you will get many answers. Different types of conflicts are there. Conflict with others, very easy.
Realize the Atman.
Huh?
Realize the Atman. Spiritual development is the way to realize the Atman.
Conflict with others is easy. Conflict with society is easy. Conflict with God is also there. The last conflict is conflict with one's own self. There, if that is handled, all other conflicts are handled. Next. Okay. Now, go down. See, I don't start at asana. I always talk about yama-niyamas. Without yama-niyamas, even asanas, what they say? Dirghakala, Nirantara, Satkara Sevito, Dridabhumi. So yama-niyamas are fundamental. If yama-niyamas are proper, then only asana comes. If asanas are proper, then only we can, what ideally they say? 12 years of asana, 12 years of pranayama, 24 years. After that, you get into the third, the Sayamaka level. It takes 36 years to be a very firm. They say pranayam in many schools, they don't teach unless you are able to sit in full Padmasana for 3 hours. But today, nobody has time. 3 hours, you have to be in Padmasana. I know one of the guru in South, only one practice, he practiced 6 months. Baddha Padmasana. In the 6 months, he used to practice in such a manner, na, that is Baddha Padmasana, you will feel like a lotus. 6 months, daily same practice. So whatever difficult. So very important. The yama-niyamas are very important. Otherwise, concentration will not come, memory will not come, intellectual development will not come because you don't have a discipline. So otherwise, there is always a knowing doing gap. Read Pratipaksha Bhavanam. They talk about the same thing. So many places, yama-niyamas again and again told. So many places. They say it's very difficult to follow. The moment you are able to follow, then samadhi becomes easier. But yama-niyamas are the core. What comes in way? We have seen the antarayas yesterday. Some key elements of this process include respect for others, listening carefully to other person, being interested in them. All of it is what? Behavior. It doesn't come with just practice. Practice, you will look like acrobatic. I remember when I started my class, my teacher told me, listen, if I tell you that you are coming late, no, person like you, because I know you are helpless, you will stop coming. So he said, only one thing I am going to teach you. Just come in time. If you're tired, last line you can lie down and sleep. I have no problem. But just come in time. I am only teaching you yama-niyamas. The moment you start doing it, no, remaining things will come. And after 10 years of practice, one day he called me and he said, he's very, very tough guy. He's a captain in the army. He took form. He filled up everything and he said, you have to only sign. He said, now you are not a student. I said, Wednesday, it's difficult for me. He said, it's okay. I will handle it. Wednesday, Friday. I said, Wednesday is easy. Friday, it becomes difficult for me to come from Andheri. Traffic. Sunday, I'm there. He said, I will manage. You just come. So he only told me, just come in time. What he said, have time for yourself. He broke that word, your self. That's all. So all other things will fall in place only if we are able to follow Yama Niyama. Principles of Yama include these elements and are very important as these help us see. It is talking about that only. For spiritual development, Yama Niyama Pratyahara, Yama Niyama only is more important. Rest all the things will fall in place. Introspection is very effective for the development of self. Introspection means what? Reflection. Travel. There is a book called Robert. The book is known as The Road Less Traveled. The author is known as Scott M. Peck. Just read the PDF version. The Road Less Traveled. Author is Scott M. Peck.
Parul, how will you develop
Yes, sir.
Yama, the 5
How
commandments?
do we?
How will you
How
develop
do we?
it? How will you develop Yama and Niyama?
That is through personal practice. Na? I have to keep reminding myself like about it.
What are the tools for it? What are the tools?
Rules,
Tools,
sir.
tools, tools.
Tools.
Yeah.
I think for me, I put it as self-awareness. Just being aware of myself, watching myself, being mindful of my thoughts, how I'm behaving with the outside world.
Meditation. Meditation is the key factor for it. All these factors lead to meditation only. The more you improve on the meditation, the directly it is proportional to your transformation of the personality. Okay. And
Yeah.
meditation is best achieved in Brahma Muhurta. Brahma Muhurta is 1.5 hour before the sunrise.
329. That all is a little difficult. They are small children.
And
No, I'm telling you, see, awareness is very important. It's not easy. The word is a very powerful thing. Being aware is one thing. See, what happens is that even if you close your eyes for 10 minutes, okay, going into meditation may be difficult. Meditation, they say meditation is when the meditator is not there. Meditation is when the meditator is not there. It's like, when you talk to God, it's prayer. When God talks to you, it's meditation. That time you have to listen. When you talk, when you pray, you're talking to God. When God talks to you, is meditation. So then that silence you will learn.
Dharana and Dhyana. Dharana and Dhyana. Dhyana, the object gets absorbed. Okay.
That all will come with practice. I'm telling you, yeah, practice, practice, practice. That's all. Okay, next. Yeah, same thing. Nothing in that.
Aurobindo.
Aravindo, they know very well. Next. Yeah. Questions. Nice, nice red velvet cake I made. Huh? Red velvet cake I made.
Divya likes cake very much. No?
Yeah. Yes, sir. How did you know?
I can make out from the body language.
I like
Okay.
anything sweet.
Yeah, you should have.
Your body language says so. But it is not the same case with Parul.
I'm not. I don't have a sweet tooth, but when I go to West Bengal, that's when I eat maximum sweet.
All your rasagollas.
Rasgulla, Rasgulla.
Yes, absolutely. I eat like 7 to 8 in a day.
Okay. So, what is more important is for both of you. This is a very important topic for you all. Okay. This is an easy topic for you because whenever any assignments come,
One minute.